I think the most important thing is that I think we should talk to him about the importance of taking on debt to get through the holidays.
Right.
The negative consequences and
Absolutely.
the cost of what it's going to
Yeah.
cost you over the next year.
Right.
So, you
Not
good with
worth
that?
it. Not worth it.
You good with that?
Yep.
All right. Right. Here we go. Hello, Austin, Texas. You're listening to the Home Team with Troy and Wyatt, where we bring sports and money together for your education and entertainment. If you have any questions about anything we say today, please reach out to me at loansfromtroy.com or give me a call at 855-299-HOME. And as always, this segment is brought to you by Security National Mortgage, where we turn houses into homes by financing
Your
American dream.
It is. Hey, you know what? So we just got this last segment. We talked about the fact that the American dream, people were kind of giving up on it a little bit, right? It was the market, the availability of people to buy homes was or the pool rather, was a lot smaller.
Yeah.
And it's growing. And like you said, in the Austin area, $350,000 was hard to find. $300 was even harder to find.
Yeah.
But now all of a sudden, if you can get up to $400 because these interest rates come down, it's time to get back in.
Absolutely.
Right now, I think it was 500,000, or 500 rather, not 500,000, 500 homes underneath 500,000 in Austin right now.
500 total.
500 total.
In the greater Austin.
In the
That's the
greater-
greater Austin area.
The greater Austin
That's
area.
like Manor.
Well, no, okay,
George-
the greater Austin area was only 500.
Yeah, that's like Manor, Georgetown, Leander, Cedar Park,
Right.
Buda.
So it's only 500 homes under 500,000. So
And that's like
so if you're thinking
1.52 million people.
right, and so there's a lot of
I'm really
people out
trying to
there-
drive that
well,
home.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of people out there who $500,000 house is a big house, and it's a big house to me. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I can't afford a 500,000. I don't want to. How about
Yeah,
that?
I mean, you gotta think that right now that's the interest. I say right now the interest rates a couple months ago that was like a $4,000 payment.
Now that percentage or that amount of homes, once the interest rates go down, is going to be even less because two things are going to happen. The price of that home is going to go up.
Yep.
So it's not the fact that there's less homes; it's just the pricing is going to be going up, right? Supply demand. And then of course you have more competition, so they'll be buying more of those houses. So if you're looking to get into the housing market, this is the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you have any questions, just go back. You can go back to the app. You can go download, go to the website, the loansfromtroy.com/the home team, and check the last segment we went over to understand why. If you have any questions, just reach out to me, loansfromtroy.com, or give me a call at 855-299-HOME.
And what would you tell those people right now that the interest rates will come down? They might come down more. They should go ahead and get pre-qualified.
You definitely get pre-qualified, and so the reason why, and we just had one. They waited till the last minute. We've been talking for a while, and then finally they found the home they were looking for. They sent me all the stuff. Monday, they found it on Sunday, sent it to me Monday morning. Monday afternoon, and we gave them a pre-qual. The seller had already accepted an offer.
You're right.
So if they had done this beforehand, we've been talking for a while. If they'd done this beforehand, they could have made an offer over the weekend with the other person, and the seller would have, might have waited. Who knows?
So if they get pre-qualified with you, then you go with a certain interest rate, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say though they're going to be looking the next 2-3 months. Can they get the lower interest rate if it comes in, or
Absolutely.
they're not locked in, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
I know this. I'm just making sure. A lot of people have these questions. So how's that work?
Yeah. So there are two trains of thought on that, on a pre-qual interest rate, right?
Okay.
One is in a declining rate market, you float. So I'm just saying, hey, we pre-qualified you at today's rate. Let's just say it's 7.5, right? And then next month you hadn't found a home yet, and the rates are down at 7. I'm like, hey, we were at 300 at 7 now, and these are just guesstimate numbers. Please don't hold me to this. Say we're at 300 now. Hey, now the rate's at 7. I'm up in your pre-qual to 320, right? And then let's say they've gone 3 months down, and now the rates are at 6.5. I'm like, hey, now you're up to 370. As an example, and then they find a house at 370. We monitor the rate until it's time. We lock when it's ready. Now, and it's the exact opposite in a rising rate, which is what we've been doing for the last 2 years because the rates have just been going up for 2 years. And so I'm like, we find them, we pre-qual. I'm like, hey,
let's lock this.
Like, we can lock this today on your name, and you have 60 days to find a home.
Okay.
Right after 60 days, we can't extend the lock anymore.
Right.
So it kind of pushes them out there, but you know what? It's not like I don't know what my payment's going to be. I don't know what my what it's going to be going in because the rate is locked. So there are those two options right now. It's all about floating. So we watch the rate.
So is it volatile right now? I mean, is it going up and down, up and down?
No, no. Since mid-October, it's just been inching back down. It's just been on a steady decline, which is nice.
By tenths,
yeah,
of a percent, kind of up and
10 bips today, 20 bips tomorrow, 10 bips today.
Explain bips real quick to people.
It's just a percentage. So 100 bips is basically 1%.
Okay, so 1% is 100.
Yeah. So so let's say if you had to pay 1 point, that's 100 bips, and $100,000 loan, that would be $1,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's kind of the same thing. Rates are based in bips. So as the bips go,
a lot of people, that's an industry standard we get, and you don't say that it's bips. They're like, what the heck is a bip?
Yeah.
So now you know.
Yeah, and it's kind of the same. Now, a basis point is not a direct correlation to interest rates. So like 25 basis points is about an eighth in rate.
Okay.
Right now, but it varies. So it's been up to like a half, like 50 basis points has been an eighth in rate.
Okay.
So it kind of varies a little depending on market. So but that's.
And if anybody's confused out there right now,
call me.
Yeah, just call him. Right, he'll explain what that equates to, and what's going up and down. But again, as always, when you're in any market, it's better to get pre-qualified. That way if anything's going to come up on your credit that you can work on, if there's a better situation, that you can work on, so forth and so on.
Absolutely. Sorry, it's like they've got a dance thing going on in the booth back there.
Well, that's being ADD. Bright lights, it's going to take you off, right? Bright lights.
Yeah, but and so another thing too, and so one thing that people don't understand is that some of your interest rate is based on your debt to income ratio.
Right.
So, credit score, loan to value, and debt to income ratio are the three biggest things that factor into your interest rate. Obviously, the market's always going to affect it, right? But a higher credit score, more down payment, and low debt to income ratio, you qualify for all investors, right? So let's just say there's ABC Bank, and he's like, hey, I'll offer loans with anybody that has a debt to income ratio under 35, which is very low.
Sure.
He goes, but my rate's going to be a half a point better than everyone else's. But he takes less of a risk because there's less debt to income. There's high credit score, high, debts. So that's how it works. So, and what you got to think, it affects your debt to income ratio, because right now, people aren't taking into consideration that homeowners insurance has gone up a full 40%.
Which is crazy.
Homeowners.
And why is that?
Because of the two snowpocalypses that in the state of Texas has been abused with natural disasters over the last 5 years.
Sure.
We had, since Hurricane Harvey, we've had like 8 serious natural disasters in Texas, and the insurance companies have just lost a bunch of money, so they're making it up.
That makes sense.
And that's
how they make money, right?
You gotta
hedge your bets. Hedge your bets.
The only non-profit insurance company is the government. That doesn't really work out well for us.
That's very true. Well, so that being said, people out there, when they do get pre-qualified, there's also people out there that own businesses. Mm-hmm. Right, they might be part owner of a couple. Mm-hmm. It's good to know and kind of go. I'm going through that right now.
Yeah.
Is trying to decide on which one to use, which one not to use. And how you position yourself when you put that into discovery for your underwriter.
Right. Yeah. And like I said,
does that make sense?
Yes. There's lots of things as far as, like I said, your debt to income ratio. You may owe $4,000 on a credit card, right?
Right.
But your minimum payment's $300. Right. So $300, that's a lot of house per month. You got to think that's a lot of house. It's like
most certainly.
That's an extra, $60,000-$70,000 in house. So you could spend $4,000, pay off your credit card.
There you go.
And qualify for $60,000-$70,000 more of
and people don't know that.
Right.
Or they do. It's common sense, but
they think most people think the $4,000. What is owed is what we factor in. It is not. Yeah. It is the monthly minimum payment is what we factor.
Interesting. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't understand that. And so again, you may have a minimum credit card that's got like $40, and you owe like $80 on it. And you can pay $80 now you qualify for $20,000 more a house.
Right. And that's the thing is through your experience, right? You've been doing this You've been doing it about 2 years now, 3, 4?
Yeah, multiple.
I'm just kidding. 20, almost 20 years,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you've seen it all, and so
I think November. It is. I think it's 20 years.
20 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, I know you're
That just
old.
means I'm old.
You're old. And you started when you're 50. So now I'm playing. But that being said, there's all these other little small things that you can do to help adjust to get someone into that home they're looking at.
Absolutely, and again,
It's lots of things. Not just we're just kind of going on the tip of the iceberg. There's so many different things that if they call you and get pre-qualified, that you can go and say, hey, this is what we can do.
Yeah, and right now, in our industry, everybody's like, "Oh, the loans are so hard." It's not that they're hard. It's just that these people, most people that are buying homes today, couldn't buy a home 2 years ago because of the way the market was.
Right.
And most people are taking advantage of it.
100,000 over asking price. Who could? Not
Yeah.
many people, right? Doesn't matter how good your
Basically, somebody just sold a home for $500 over asking price and came and paid $100 over.
Yeah, you came from California,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It didn't matter how good your credit score was or what have you. Most people don't have $100,000 that they can just put down to a house.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And we've been
On top of your
yes,
down payment.
yeah, and so we're getting a lot of people that are self-employed. They
Right.
need some work and things like that. So we're able to help a lot of people right now.
Yeah.
But in 6 months from now, I don't know if we'll be able to help these people because they won't be able to buy a home because the sellers will
Right.
have too much to choose from.
You got it.
And that's what I think that people need to understand.
So creative lending is at an all-time high right now.
Yeah, well,
When I say creative, that has
Yes, I don't wanna
I
confuse
apologize to say that. Yeah.
experienced loan officers
There you
are
go.
at an all-time high value
There you
right
go.
now.
And I was trying to get
Yes,
there, but
yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
But if you have a complicated financial background, this is time to come in and see what they can do to help. You.
And this is the time that everybody has the time and wants to work with you.
You got it.
So don't let what's going on stop you from coming in and pre-qualifying or at least getting you on the right path to home ownership because that's the only true way to earn wealth equity. Hey, you've been listening to the Home Team with Troy and Wyatt. We hope you've enjoyed what you've heard today. If you have any questions, please reach out to me at loansfromtroy.com or give me a call at 855-299-HOME. And as always, this segment is brought to you by Security National Mortgage, where we turn houses into homes by financing
Your
American Dream. See you in just a minute.